Alright, we're going to do a continuation of the Tao of Jeet Kune. We're on page number 23. I'm going to read what it says. You guys could offer some reflections if you have any. If not, you can stay silent. Number 1, the economy, tight structure, and attack and defense. Attack, the alive leads. Defense, sticking hands. Number 2, the versatile and artful, total, kicking and striking weapons. Number 3, the broken rhythm, the half beat and the 1 or 3.5 beat. JKD's rhythm and attack and counter. Number 4, weight training and scientific supplementary training plus all-around fitness. Number 5, the JKD direct movement and attacks and counters, throwing from where it is without repositioning. Number 6, the shifty body and light footwork. Number 7, the uncrispy stuff and unassuming attacking tactics. Number 8, strong infighting, shifty blasting, throwing, grappling, immobilizations. Number 9, all-out sparring and the actual contact training on moving targets. Number 10, the sturdy tools through continuous sharpening. Number 11, individual expression rather than mass product. Aliveness rather than classicalism. True relationship.
Can I reflect on that?
Yes.
I didn't get it verbatim, but what I heard was, being more so in the moment instead of being cookie cutter. Kind of gets me to think of starting right now, where you are. Even in sparring, you can do forms and movements with, that might not be relevant to right now, right? What's your position, what's most effective from where you are, not what a form is or what could work, but what will work right now, in this moment.
Yes. Individual expression rather than mass product, aliveness rather than classicalism. That gets me to think about sparring is an individual thing, in the moment, like you're saying. And if you're in danger, it's kind of responding to that moment. But I think sometimes there's certain sports that a team sports, like a basketball, for example, is a team sport, it's not an individual sport. And then there's certain sports where it's individual, like boxing, wrestling, golf, billiards. Martial arts, it can be both. And Bruce Lee was kind of speaking against the forms as far as the mass people training in forms. But that's almost like a team thing, where people do things together. My thing is try to bridge the best of both worlds. We do both. Like say sparring is kind of like what Bruce is talking about responding to the moment. A lot of drill work, like just defending yourself. The team sport aspect is more like the forms, where you all practice something and you try to get to a high level on the forms together. A lot of the traditional martial arts and traditional kung fu, traditional wushu, they work on forms. They might have like 1,000 or 2,000 people doing the same exact form at the same exact time. It's kind of like a dance team opposed to like just dancing on your own. There's beauty in both. And what I'm saying is, why not just have the best of both? Like, yes, be proficient in sparring, be proficient in defending yourself, but there's no harm and there's some beauty in, maybe doing a form together in unison. Or it doesn't even have to be in unison, just everybody getting to a certain level. Like, say, one person could do a kip up, okay, but then if 10 people could do it, then that's even better. One person could do a human flag, but then if 10 people could do it, that's better. Bruce Lee doing a 1-inch punch, okay, he's up there by himself doing it, okay, that's great. But imagine if like him and 10 other people were able to do this, the 1-inch punch, the 2-finger push up. If everybody could get to a high level together, I think that's a good thing. You see it in the Olympics, you got like a great swimmer like that dude that won all those gold medals, the Phelps guy. So he wins all his medals by himself, but then there's also the relay race where he teams up with other good high-level swimmers, and they swim together and they win medals together. So there's 4 of them, a group of 4. And then you even got like Usain Bolt, individually he's a great runner, the best, but then he teams up with other runners that are also great, and then they win medals like on the relay race. So that's kind of how I see martial arts. Like, individually you should be like the top of your game, but then if you come together with other people that are also highly trained, then you could express the martial arts to a higher level in a group dynamic. Just like Bruce Lee, he can't make a movie by himself. I mean, he needs other people. He might need other people to beat up on, but I mean, but the other people that he's beating up on, like somebody like Chuck Norris, he's not that much of a scrub himself, so he's giving Bruce Lee a challenge. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar giving him a challenge. Danny Asano giving him a challenge. He needs other people that are good as well in order to spar with, in order to make a nice movie. If he had nobody to spar with in the movies, he wouldn't even be famous. So he needs people that are good too. So martial arts is not just about yourself. It's also about, working with other people, helping other people get to a high level as well. So I want to bridge both. I don't want to just focus on one aspect. Number 12, total rather than partial in structure. Number 13, the training of continuity of expressive self behind physical movements. Number 14, loose power and powerful thrust drive as a whole. A springy looseness but not a physically lax body. Also a pliable mental awareness.
Can I reflect on that?
Yes.
Springy looseness gets me to think about flexibility, both physical flexibility and also mental flexibility. To be like totally aware instead of being so pigeonholed to one set of thinking. To be open-minded. And with springy looseness, I mean, in any sport, flexibility is usually beneficial.
Yes.
I would add something else to that metaphor, kind of think about a vehicle without shocks or springs.
Yeah.
It's the shocks and springs provide stiffness and flexibility at the same time for a smooth and BMW ride.
Yeah, I mean, just look at nature and look at the truth around you. Just pure stiffness, you know that there's something wrong with that. Like, there needs to be a combination of strength and flexibility to reach like ultimate level of proficiency. So As soon as you understand that, then you should start to learn to appreciate the flexibility training that we do, not just the strength training. 15, the constant flow, straight movement and curved movement combined. Up and down, curved left and right, side steps, bobbing and weaving hand circles. I love that one. That one, the constant flow, that's exactly how we spar. If you think about it, like straight movements, which is not just like the Wing Chun, because that's what they focus on. Curve movements combined, that's kind of what Chole focuses on. Up and down, curved left and right, side steps, bobbing, weaving. We do a lot of that. I would just add in diagonal movements as well. And then he says hand circles. We do that too. A lot of these hand movements that we do, it's just a different type of movement. Just basically just confuse the hell out of the person. You're just so unpredictable. If you just stick to one way of movement, or you just don't move at all, it could be predictable. But he's talking about constant flow, like flow. So that's very important as far as sparring is concerned. Number 16, well-balanced posture of exertion during movement. Constantly, continually between near and out and near and all loose. No, near all out and near all loose. Okay, so that was the facts of Jeet Kune Do. Alright, so the next part is called the formless form. I'm going to read that part. I hope martial artists are more interested in the root of martial arts and not the different decorative branches, flowers, or leaves. It is futile to argue as to which single leaf, which design of branches, or which attractive flower you like. When you understand the root, you understand all its blossoming. I like that statement. I think that's an important teaching for you guys to understand. Just think about it. He's talking about the roots, not the branches, the flowers, or the leaves. Branches, flowers, or leaves are like the styles, so don't get caught up in the styles. And it's kind of pointless to argue which style is better than what other style. When you understand the root of the martial arts, which is beyond all styles, but just the science. He's talking about the science of combat. There's a science. There's something that scientifically will work and is just more efficient. If you understand the science, then you understand all the styles. You know, you go beyond the styles. So essentially what I like about Bruce, he's very scientific. He's like a scientist, and he's pretty much doing the hard work for us. Kind of like Einstein did the discovery, and then that led to many other things. People just go off of his discovery. And that's what Bruce has done with the martial arts. He's like a scientist for the martial arts. And you understand the science, then you'll understand everything else, you know, as far as all those styles are concerned. Next, please do not be concerned with soft versus firm, kicking versus striking, grappling versus hitting and kicking, long range fighting versus infighting. There is no such thing as this is better than that. Should there be one thing we must guard against, let it be partiality that robs us of our pristine wholeness and makes us lose unity in the midst of duality. What's deep about it?
Can you read that one more time? Just the partiality part, just kind of.
Okay. Please do not be concerned with soft versus firm, kicking versus striking, grappling versus hitting and kicking, long range fighting versus infighting. There is no such thing as this is better than that. Should there be one thing we must guard against, let it be partiality that robs us of our pristine wholeness and makes us lose unity in the midst of duality.
I just kind of think about, if we're going to worry about something, just worry about being a whole. It keeps coming with all these different parts and pieces. The limit, I mean, I just kind of see that as just limit. We're kind of like you said, we're robbing ourselves of our wholeness if we only focus on parts.
Yes.
May I add something to that?
Yes.
That comes straight, it reminds me of what we was reading yesterday from the Tao of Jeet. It's the exact same, like down to the verse.
Yes.
It's talking about short brings out tall, wide brings out slim, the duality part. Like he's pretty much giving a, how should I say it? His speech was like the flower and the Tao was like the root. He's taking that and expanding on it.
Well,
Go ahead.
what I'm getting out of that is like, for example, as far as concerned, if you're tall and you're fighting somebody, sparring somebody shorter, and the short person worrying about distance, or I gotta get in to get my punches in, or the tall person fighting somebody shorter, or I gotta use my distance to keep him away from me. But he's saying, don't worry about stuff like that, because the main thing is to have your mind right. Because you could get in, and then what? You don't know what to do. Or you could use your distance, but then what? You're extending the fight longer. You don't want to extend the fight. You want to finish it up as soon as possible. So he's telling you to basically stay focused and know exactly what you're going to need to do and what to do and when to do it, and have a clear mind, understanding that your endurance and condition is important. Focus on that. No sense trying to, because you're short, you want to get in, and then you get into what if the guy that's a taller knows exactly what he's doing, and you get in and you get beat up more. See what I'm saying? Or if you're taller, and you're trying to keep your distance from the guy, the short person could be more experienced than the tall guy, and the short person could just wait till you waste all that time and energy trying to keep him away, and then when you see that you're tired, you're going to get up and beat you up. So you're basically saying is that don't worry about stuff like that. Just be aware of your surroundings and have a clear mind and understanding of what you need to do. That's what I'm getting out of that.
It's basically saying don't choose. Like, look at the yin-yang symbol, look at the balance, positive and negative, white and black. Don't choose any. Like, everything that you do should be balanced. And once you start choosing, then the people say, oh, is this a yin style or is that a yang style? Oh, kicking versus striking. What's better, taekwondo versus boxing? What's better, wrestling versus taekwondo? Long range fighting, chole fight versus wing chun, infighting. I mean, there is no such thing as this is better than that. So he's just basically putting it out there. There's no such thing as this style is better than that style. You must guard against choosing styles like one way is better than another. And just basically look at martial arts as a whole and don't get caught up in choosing. Once you start choosing one over another, you're already heading away from the truth. So don't choose.
It's like a powerful life lesson in general, You can apply that to religion, you can apply it to race, you can apply it to culture, you can apply it to
A lot of stuff.
everything,
Okay, so that was pretty long reading. That's just one page. And this is only page 23. It's over 200 pages. I mean, this alone is just so much already to study. I mean, people that try to be like, oh, I read that book, I read this book, I read this, what's the next book to read? I mean, it's just, how could you learn anything like that? You know what I mean? Like, this is something where it takes life experiences in order to deeply understand like each little part, you know. So all right, let me go on to the next page and switch.